Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Saturday morning practice, another boot camp. We'll be spending the next hour and a half together, focusing on relieving the what we call the chi disorder in the body, and therefore the name of the class is called Chi Therapy. It's a technique, it's a methodology, it's a philosophy to relieve ourselves of the disorder, the yin and the yang. So today's we're going to be focusing in the end on breathing technique, abdominal breathing technique, and we're going to be pairing that with joint exercise, starting with the wrist to the elbow to the shoulder to the neck to the back, all the way down to the ankle. So get started. First, I want you to focus on your body. Many of you practice yoga. The word yoga comes from the North Indian word yuj, which means body and mind together. So I want you to start at the very bottom of your spine. Move towards the top of the head. As you do that, I want you to stretch the spine. Then I want you to lean back the upper torso. And while you're doing that, I want you to open the shoulder and lean back at the same time. And then I want you to relax the shoulder and then also relax the spine. Now we're going to be doing joint exercise, but keep in mind that this is essentially a yogic exercise, body, mind, and breath together. So we're going to focus now on the center of a palm. We're going to bring up the hands together with the mind all the way to shoulder level. Now we're going to focus on the wrist, but we're going to turn it one turn at a time. And every time before we turn, we remind ourselves to anchor our mind onto the wrist. We take one turn. We're mindful of the turning of the wrist. We focus on the sensation, any change in sensation in the wrist. And after we finish one turn of the wrist, we start from zero. Focus on the wrist again, one turn at a time. This hour and a half practice is essentially all meditation, just that sometimes we meditate while we're moving, and sometimes we meditate while we are sitting or standing or lying down. Now we're going to turn the other way, and this is a good time to recalibrate your mind, anchor your mind onto the wrist, one turn at a time, one turn at a time. Feel the change in your wrist, any heat, any pain, any numbness, any sweat. Now we're going to bring the hands down together with the mind, all the way down. And once again, we're going to stretch the spine, lean back and open the shoulder, relax the shoulder, relax the spine. We're going from the wrist to the elbow. Once again, back to the center of the palm, bring up the arms, hands, all the way up. And now we're going to focus on the elbow. Again, one turn at a time. And keep checking your mind. Make sure your mind is actually anchored onto your elbow. And once your mind is anchored on the elbow, then you focus on feeling the change in your elbow. Again, any heat, any sweat, any numbness, any tightness, any kind of change. And now we're going to turn the other way. One turn at a time. And now we're going to bring down the hands, but make sure that your mind is anchored on the center of the palm and then bring it back down. Now we're going from the wrist to the elbow to the shoulder. So once again, come back, stretch, open, lean back, relax, back to the center of the palm again. We're going to be bringing up the hands, crossing the hand, follow the hands to the face all the way up. Now, when we bring it up, we want to stretch. And as you come down, I want you to turn the wrist so the center of the palm is facing outside. and you're opening your shoulder, and I want you to feel the change in your shoulder. Back again, focus on the center of the palm, stretch, open as if you're touching two walls on the side. Open that shoulder, feel the change in your shoulder, bring it back up, stretch, open, relax, back again, follow the center of the palm, stretch, open the shoulder, center of the palm facing outside. Another time, go up, stretch, bring it back down, relax. One last time, bring it back up, stretch, open, relax. Now follow the center of the palm, open the other way, open first, stretch, bring it back down, open first, stretch, bring it back down, open first, stretch, and then bring it back down, open first, stretch, and then bring it back down. Once again, stretch the spine, lean back the upper torso, and then open the shoulder at the same time, and then relax. We're going to go forward from front to back. Now, this is a good time to actually learn about letting go, letting go. Okay? We talk a great deal about health, happiness, and peace. And everybody knows how important peace is these days. We actually want peace between countries, peace between people, peace between political parties, peace everywhere. That's really what we want. But peace starts from within. Peace starts from within. People fight over things because they are not peaceful. They're not. They don't have the serenity of giving up, letting go. And so this is a good time to learn that. We're going to learn that through our body. So once again, stretch, open, lean back, relax. Focus on the center of the palm again. Bring up the hands into front. Bring it all the way back. Open as far back as you can. Feel that pain and then let go of the pain back to the center of the palm. We're dog sitting, that's why. Okay. Bring it back up. Open the shoulder as far back as you can. Feel that pain. Let go of the pain. Come back to the center of the palm. Bring it up. All the way back. Feel that pain. Accept that pain. Let go of the pain. Come back to the center of the palm. Bring it up. Feel it. Accept it. And then let it go. Let it go means come back to the center of the palm. Always know where you're anchoring your mind. Open and then bring it back down. Stretch. And then the hands in the back. Bring it up. Stretch. Down. Back. Stretch. Down. Back. Stretch. Down. One last time. Back. Stretch. And then bring it back down. Now we're going to go from meditation while we're moving to meditation while we're sitting still. So when we're moving our body, whether we're walking, exercising, we anchor our mind onto our body. Any one place. Center of the palm, the fingers, bottom of the feet, the knee, the hip, anywhere. But when we're sitting still or lying down or standing, then we focus on our breath. So let's come back to the breathing. Feel your breathing in, feel that you're breathing in, feel that you're breathing out, feel that you're breathing in, feel that you're breathing out. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about what we're doing here, the technique, and how simple it is, at the same time, how difficult it is. So in the past, I mentioned the serenity prayer, which comes in three parts: the courage to change things you can change, the serenity to accept things you cannot change, and the wisdom to know the difference, right? Sounds so simple, but it's actually very difficult to do. It's actually very difficult to do. Now, I believe it was on last Tuesday. It seemed like such a long time ago. Um, Venerable Bodhidharma came and let us meditate and also share with us Dharma. Particularly this time is on the third Noble Truth. And at the end, I mentioned that unfortunately, as soon as we started using the word therapy, uh, Buddhist therapy, meditative therapy, and Buddhist psychology and things, you're stepping into people's professional territory, right? People who are Western educated therapists, and Western educated psychology, they're going to reject that. And unfortunately, something very, very sad happens, and I mentioned that, which is a young lady who was attending a 10-day, what's called a 10-day Vipassana in Canada, a facility that I had volunteered in, um, decided that um, she wanted to walk out from the facility after about 8 days and end up killing herself. So now people is going to point to that and say, "Oh, that's the problem. That's the problem with this Buddhist meditative technique that it can cause harm." The harm, and this is speaking from inside, I actually know about people who run this facility. There's nothing wrong with the technique. It's just that the people who runs it are not themselves well prepared. The so-called teacher are not actually qualified to do that. So let me explain. So what is it that we're doing here? So I mentioned the three things: the courage, the serenity, and the wisdom. I asked this at the same time. I mentioned how we, as we practice, we keep thinking about the feeling it, accepting it, and letting it go. Why? How are these tied together? Well, in the Vipassana technique, unfortunately, people tend to put these in silo and they say, "Oh, this technique is called Vipassana. This technique is called mindfulness. This technique is called Zen, and this other technique is called something else." And that's like the old fable where a bunch of blind people are looking at the elephant, each with their own way, and they decided the elephant is a tail, the elephant is a tree trunk, the elephant is something else. In order to practice well, you actually need all that. You need mindfulness, you need vipassana, and before vipassana, you need what's called samatha, and then you also need zen, which is basically a way of letting go and letting go of all your bad emotion, right? And it all comes back to basically three things: be mindful, meaning that to anchor your mind. Always learn to anchor your mind somewhere. Don't let it run around, right? When you let the mind run around, then trouble starts. Okay, and then the second part is once you anchor your mind into a particular part of your body where you focus, where you understand how you feel the pain or feel the pleasantness in your body, then you have to accept it. Then you have to accept it. Accept means that you it's like the dog guarding the door. That's actually what samatha ultimately means, is the dog that is guarding the door. And when something comes, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, you guard the door and you says, "I know you, I feel you, I accept you, but I'm letting you go. As long as you don't enter into my being, I'm gonna let you go." All right. So and then finally the Vipassana is something else. And so the problem with this young lady was that she was not taught the basic. She was actually not taught, and the teachers there, and I know this from the inside, they don't focus on the basic, and the basic is anchoring your mind. If you don't know how to anchor your mind and you're being put in a place where you're deprived of your sensory input, the mind go crazy. The mind actually go crazy. That's why we work in the prison, and we know that the worst punishment that you can do to an inmate, to an individual, incarcerated individual, is to put them in isolation. Once they're in isolation, the mind go crazy, right? And so just keep in mind that what we do here is the very, very, very basic. Don't try to jump and think that that we want to get there. Let's work on the basic. The basic is very simple. Okay, feel it, accept it, and then letting it go. All right, let's practice that. It is that important. And if you don't, then you're going to get yourself in a lot of trouble, because if you don't know how to anchor your mind, it would be like me taking my 3-year-old son across the street and not holding his hand, right? We would never do that. I would never do that as a father. Because if you don't, then they're going to run through the intersection, get run over by a car, or they get kidnapped. It is that dangerous. So I'm pleading with you to focus on the basic. Focus on the basic. First, learn how to anchor your mind. So let's do that. Let's anchor our mind onto our body, starting with the bottom of our spine. Move towards the top of the head, stretch the spine, and then lean back and then open the shoulder at the same time, and then relax the shoulder and then relax the spine. Now I want you to put the left hand in front and the right hand outside. We're going to separate the left brain from the right brain. So right now I want you to keep the left hand stationary. I want you to focus on the center of your right palm, okay? Anchoring your mind on the center of the right palm. Bring it in front of you, making a nice big circle. And now bring it as far back as you can. Feel that pain, accept that pain, let go of the pain, come back to the center of the palm. Always anchor somewhere. And right now, I want you to anchor onto the center of your left palm. Bring the left hand, keeping the right hand stationary. Get ready. Open as far back as you can. Feel that pain, accept that pain, let go of the pain. Come back to the center of your right palm. Okay, very disciplined. Open, feel it, accept it, and then let it go. Back to the left hand, left palm. Feel it, accept it, and then letting it go. To the right, feel it, accept it, and then letting it go. To the left, sit up straight, feel it, accept it, and then letting it go. To the right, okay, 2 more times. Open as far back as you can, let it go. One last time, bring it around, open as far back as you go, and then let it go. Just let it go. Come back to the center of your palm, come back to your body. And now we're going to learn to meditate while we're sitting, so which means that we anchor our mind onto our breath. One breath at a time, one breath at a time. Know that I'm breathing in. Know that I'm breathing out. And I think in the past I told a story, and I don't want to repeat it at length, but it's important to repeat it, to just mention it again about anchoring, right? I mentioned how I came to the United States in 1971 with my parents and my siblings. We came in June, which is not yet the typhoon season, and we were on this big diesel powered boat that can take about 150 people. And 2 months later, in August, right in the middle of a typhoon season, um, the um, they were the ship was returning from Hong Kong to Macau, where we were from, and they were hit by this typhoon. So they anchor, and that's the word. They anchor themselves off a big island. And but the storm was so severe that it broke the anchor, it broke the chain, and so the boat drift away, and then capsized, and 80 people died. We could have been on that boat. It was just such a traumatic. And I know the people that were on the boat. They were actually a good friend of my father. And that's what it means, that if you don't know, if you don't learn the basic and you don't learn to anchor your mind onto your either your body or your breath, and then you just start meditating, that's how dangerous it is. That all of a sudden it's like you're in the middle of the storm. Your mind goes everywhere because is not being you deprive of sensors. It's a very strange experience, and it's an experience you never had before. I remember a story about how there was a kind of during the Wild Wild West, there was a prison near Yellowstone Park where they used to keep all the criminals, and it was one where it was the the park ranger was describing this jail, and he says the people who were incarcerated there, there are only two ways you can get out. One is that they get out after they're dead, and the other one is that they get out after they're crazy. And then it turns out that the jail was one where it was completely dark. Prisoners were incarcerated in complete darkness. And when you can't see your hands, you can't see somewhere, your mind started to wander around and then they go crazy. Okay? It's that dangerous. All right, so let's continue. Enough talking, right? We're not here to talk, we're here to exercise. All right, stretch, open, lean back, relax. Now we're going to bring up our right hands. We're going to do a little bit more dynamic form of chi therapy. Action equal to reaction. Follow the fist. Get ready. Up. Open the fingers. Feel the vibration coming back to your shoulder. Up. Sit up straight. Down. Sit up straight. Down. Up. Up. Down. Down. One last time. Up. Up. Down. Down. Now open your hands. Follow both fists at the same time. Get ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? All right, so now we're going to learn to loosen up our neck, our shoulder, our back, essentially activating the vagus nerve, right? So I mentioned therapy. Therapy is a word that we use to relieve ourselves of disorder. So what exactly are we relieving? What kind of disorder? And these days, people are starting to be much, much more aware of what's called autonomous nerve disorder. Basically, the disorder between the fight and flight and the rest and digest. What's called the sympathetic nerve system and what's called the parasympathetic nerve system. So this next exercise is about the parasympathetic. It's about the rest and digest. Okay. Now, I want you to sit up straight again, open the shoulder, lean back, relax the shoulder. Then I want you to take the thumb and put it right in front of here. So there's two energy point here, the gate to the cloud. So if you kind of move the forward, there's a dimple in here. Okay. And then just gently roll up the fist, the fingers. Now this comes in four forms, right? So first one, I want you to lift up that shoulder, lift up the elbow, lift up the upper torso as if you're bringing the shoulder to your ears. Okay? Now, the second one is when you point the elbow back, you're opening your shoulder and you open it as far as you can as if you're squeezing a tennis ball in the back. The third one is when you lower, this is the easy one. This is when you lower the shoulder, lower the, the, the elbow and completely relax. Then the last one is when you point the elbow forward and you hunch your shoulder and you're looking down, you're bending both your neck and your back. Okay? Now from here, we're going to go back to the first one, which is lifting up the elbow and you're looking straight ahead to the camera. Then you open up and you're looking at the ceiling 45 degree, right? That's enough. And you open all the way until you feel that tennis ball in the back. And then as you come back, you're looking at the camera again, totally relaxed. And then now you're looking back at the floor, elbow pointing forward. Now, as we moved up, we're going to close our mouth and breathe in with our nose. We're going to breathe all the way in, all the way until we are completely opening up the shoulder, opening up the chest cage. And then we're going to breathe out as we come down. And you always relax when you breathe out. And you breathe out all the way until you're looking at the floor again. Get ready? Breathe in. Lift up your upper torso. Open the shoulder. pointing the elbow in the back, squeezing the back, and then breathe out all the way out as if you're squeezing the air out of your lung. Pointing the elbow in the front. Get ready. Breathe in. Breathe out. 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 Breathe in. Lift up your body. Open the shoulder. And then breathe out. Bring it down, squeezing all the air out of your chest cage. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Two more times. Breathe in. Breathe out. One last time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay. Let go of your hands, focusing on your breath. Okay. No, I might have told this story. I know I told this story before. The question is whether you heard it before or not. I always repeat my stories. So I remember back in the 80s or the 70s, I don't remember exactly, but there was a television show that talks about a husband and wife who spent their entire lives studying, they're anthropologists, and they spent their entire life as a team working in the African jungle studying the apes. Studying the apes, just studying the social hierarchy and how they live. And then they noticed something that's very interesting, that the leader, who we call what we call the alpha male, they don't last forever, right? They become the alpha male, and then over time, they come back down. They just being discarded by the tribe, and then another one comes up. And so they were curious. They wanted to know how the body chemistry is correlated with that. And I don't know how they do it. Maybe they sluck up to them and take some blood tests. I can't imagine how they do that. But anyway, what they were looking for is the what we call the stress hormone, mainly adrenaline, and also cortisol. Right, cortisol is a steroid, and they noticed something very interesting, that the alpha male has a particular curve that when they're under stress, the cortisol, the stress hormone, rise very quickly, quicker than any other ape. And when the danger is over, it decays very fast. And over time, as they lose that ability of rising fast and decaying fast, then they also lose the social status. So they decided that this is actually a very, very interesting discovery, and they correlate that with people who are in leadership position, like the general, how the general is different from the foot soldier. And it turns out that people who are in the leadership position, just like the alpha male, they have to be able to have these stress hormone on demand very fast, so that they can do things that are not normally achievable. But then they find that what they need to do is let that, as soon as the danger is over, let it come down as quickly as possible, because it turns out to be very bad for your health. And so this is actually what we're trying to do here, is that modern people have lost that capability. that it takes a long time for the stress hormone to rise. And the stress hormone, as I mentioned, is cortisol, mainly cortisol, and it's a steroid. So when you're in danger, now that danger could be the start of a Zoom meeting, right? Or that you're actually working in a company and you're under stress, and so you need that. That cortisol is there for one reason and one reason only, which is to reduce your inflammation in the body. And so you want that there when you need it, okay? And then when you don't want it, you want it to just let it completely dissipate. Okay, so modern people have this problem in that when we need it, it's not there. And when we need it, it's not there, especially when you rise up very quickly, when you change your center of gravity and it's not there, we call that the adrenaline fatigue, then you get lightheaded. You get all kinds of problems like that. Or it rises, but it doesn't go away. And then now the body develops something called the adrenaline cortisol resistance, and your body start to inflame because you lose your ability, you lose your sensitivity to your natural steroid. So when we were doing the exercise before, when you lift up the shoulder, open the shoulder, you're actually entering in the, the fight or flight. And when you relax the shoulder and you hunch forward, you're entering into rest and digest. Okay. So you are trying to create that harmony. When I need it, I want it to be there. When I don't need it, I want it to dissipate it so I can restore the sensitivity. Okay. That's how the body heals itself. All right. All right, so now we're going to continue with this idea of creating that harmony between the yang, which is when you're entering the fight or flight, when you actually want stress hormone, and entering and then restoring with the yin, which is no more stress hormone. I just wanted to chill, I just wanted to restore the sensitivity to the self-healing agent. All right, so before we do that, this is a very important exercise. So before we do that, we're going to sit properly, which means that we're going to reduce our reliance on muscle. Muscle is fire, right? Fire will put you in the fight or flight. So how do we do that? And if you sit like I do, you put some pillows and blankets, make sure you're not using the leg muscle. And you make sure that your hands are nicely rested on your knee, on your thigh, on your calf, so you're not using your arm muscle. And then finally, the most important is your back muscle and your neck muscle. And so I don't want to use my back muscle to support my upper torso. So how do I do that? Again, I'm coming back to the bottom of my spine, and I'm going to move up the spine towards the top of the head as if I'm going to stretch my spine as if I'm hanging my spine onto the ceiling. That's why we say we sit like the bell, like the Liberty Bell, and the spine is like the clapper. It needs to be hang. And then now I'm going to lean back. As I lean back, I open my shoulder. Okay, I lean back to a point where I'm thinking I'm falling over, and now I'm going to relax my shoulder and relax the spine. So the weight of your upper torso now is more or less supported by the spine and not by the muscle. Now I'm going to lean back the forehead, so the ears on top of the shoulder, and so I'm not using the neck muscle. I'm just balancing my head on my spine like I'm balancing a bowling ball on the bamboo stick. And now I'm going to tuck in my chin. So the top of the head is facing the sky. Top of the head is where all the yang energy come together. That needs to be on top of the spine, which coincides with what's called a governing vessel. Now I'm going to close my eye, but I don't want to shut my eye. If I shut my eye tight, I'm creating stress again. So I'm going to relax my eyelid. Relax to a point where I can actually see outside. I can see light coming through my eyelashes. I can see my knee. I can see the floor, but I don't want to focus on anything. I just want to relax. Finally, I want to take the tip of the tongue and just put it where the teeth ends and the roof of the mouth begins. Close my mouth, and this would reactivate the saliva gland to ensure that I'm in rest and digest. When you're stressed, your mouth, your saliva gland is shut off, and that's why people need to drink so much water. Not only do they not self heal, by restoring the sensitivity to natural steroid, they also don't know how to self-hydrate. And that's because you're under stress all the time. So if you just leave the tip of the tongue between the teeth and the roof of your mouth, you will feel the redness inside your mouth. And this is very good. It means that your digestive system, and your immune system is being turned on. That's why stress is the number one reason for early death, is because it turns off your digestive system and it turns off your immune system when you're under stress. Now we're ready to learn abdominal breathing. We're going to do some more towards the end when we practice the 5 forms of abdominal breathing. But right here, right now, we just want to focus on the belly button. I want you to just focus on your breath, observe your breath. Don't try to force yourself to breathe. Just feel your breath. Your body knows how to breathe on its own. So as soon as you feel that your body is breathing in, I want you to move the belly button forward with your mind. With your mind. The body follows, okay? And as soon as you know that you're breathing out, I want you to again use your mind and take the belly button and bring it all the way back to the back of the spine. And your body follows. Okay, that's why we call this technique Dao Yin. Dao means to guide, Yin means to entice. You're actually enticing your body to move forward, meaning that the diaphragm is being pushed down, you're opening the stomach. And when you breathe out, the belly button go back, you're enticing your body, guiding your body. And in this case, as you breathe out, the diaphragm move up, you notice that your stomach collapse. So let's focus on this basic technique of abdominal breathing for 3 minutes. Just focus on your belly button. Anchor your mind onto your belly button. When you breathe in, move forward. When you breathe out, move backward. One breath at a time. Now, once again, your mind's not going to want to do that. Your mind wants to be somewhere else. Just like my son, he likes to be somewhere else. He doesn't want to hold my hand. Well, but for his safety and for mine, we need to do that when we cross the street. One breath at a time, okay? Okay, so that was just the basics. Now we're ready for this next exercise, which is the main feature. It's a therapeutic exercise. In the past, I have called it microcosmic orbit, or I have called it wandering dragon chasing the pearl. Those tend to be very abstract. I used to be an entrepreneur. I was a salesman. So we focus, when we sell, we focus on feature and benefit. So I'm making it really simple now. That's this next exercise. The feature is circling the chi around our body, and the benefit is to restore our harmony, restore the harmony between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. So how do we do that? So once again, we come back to the body, stretch the spine, lean back and open the shoulder at the same time, and then relax the shoulder, relax the spine. Okay. Now we're aware of our breath. The body has a little bit of muscle memory. So you notice that the stomach opens slightly when you breathe in and collapse slightly when you breathe out. That's enough. We're going to be doing more of that towards the end of class today. But for now, I want you to anchor your mind onto your spine starting at the very bottom of your spine. As soon as you know that you're breathing in, move up the spine, stretch the upper torso, and go all the way up to the top of the head. Stretch your upper torso. And then as soon as you're breathing out, come back down from the forehead. As you come down, I want you to lean back the upper torso and then relax. Come back all the way to the belly button. When you breathe in, start at the bottom of the spine, go up, stretch your spine. And then when you breathe out, start at the forehead, come back to the belly button, lean back the upper torso, and then relax. Okay? Now let's do that for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to explain. That's the feature. I'm going to explain the benefit. Okay? Get ready? 5 minutes. Breathe in, stretch, breathe out, lean back, and relax. Breathe in, stretch from the bottom of your spine to the top of your head. And when you breathe out from the forehead back to the belly button, breathe in, stretch, breathe out, lean back, and relax. That's all you have to do. Okay, open your eyes. So features and benefits, right? So this practice is very simple. Okay, so once again, we focus on the body, put the body in as low stress as possible, and the stress come from the muscle. So try not to use the muscle, both the leg, the hand, the spine, and the neck. All right, so we got that. Second one is like cranking the engine. Learn how to breathe with your stomach, right? Nobody breathes their stomach, they breathe their diaphragm. So in other words, you're just increasing the functionality of your diaphragm by focusing on your belly button. And when you breathe in, the diaphragm naturally moves down. That's the only way you can breathe in. And what you're doing is you're making more room. So it comes down a little bit more, increasing the lung capacity. And then when you breathe out, right? And when you breathe out, it means that the diaphragm is moving up all by itself anyway. But what you're doing is you're assisting it by taking the belly button, collapsing and pushing it more upward, and then relieve and then cleaning your the bottom of the lung of all the stale air. So just that exercise is a very good thing to do. Just increasing your lung capacity. So you breathe in more oxygen. What's wrong with that? And then you breathe out more carbon dioxide. What's wrong with that? But there's something else. What you're doing is you're actually generating some electricity in your small intestines. Your small intestines are piezoelectric. So as you move up and down, you're just like stretching and compressing, stretching. So you have a lot of free electrons in here. That's why we call this the Dan Ten. Dan means fire. Okay, fire and electricity are the same. And then what you want to do now, the next thing you want to do is you want to guide that in the back up the spine, which is very conductive, and then you let it come back. Now, as you do that, the benefit is that you stretch your spine, and as you stretch your spine, your shoulder goes with it, right? So your body senses that it's oh, he is in danger. He's being chased by a lion. Let's put out some stress hormone. That's when you relieving your self-healing agent and then reducing inflammation throughout your body. But when you breathe out, you come back, you lean back, you relax, and your body says, okay, no more stress hormone. Let's restore sensitivity to the stress hormone. That's the benefit, restoring that. Okay, very important. All right, so we're going to be doing the breathing exercise again, more of that. But before we do that, we're going to do some stretching, right? We always stretch. We either stretch on the floor or we stretch sitting down. So the three things that we do, we increase the heart and lung capability, not just cardio. The lung is just as important as the heart, right? Obviously, we're doing stretching and we're also restoring our muscle. Right? Those are the three things that we do. Um, Siri, the question is a very good one. So I'm going to answer that question. I usually don't answer a question in real time. But this is a very important one. And the question from Siri is that should our heart rate come down during the breathing exercise? The point is not so much having the heart rate come down. The point is having a variability between the in breath and the out breath. And this is something that we are increasingly being more aware is what's called HRV, heart rate variability. And if you wear Apple Watch, then it turns out that there's that feature is embedded into the Apple Watch. You can actually look it up, but they don't want to make use of it yet because there's some medical liability, right? And the point is this: and as you cycle, you're breathing in and you're breathing out, you're breathing in and you're breathing out. When you breathe in, the body goes into the fight or flight. Heart rate should go up. And when you breathe out, you're going into the rest and digest, the heart rate should go down. That's not true in general because modern people, once again, who are suffering from the autonomous disorder, they can't turn it on fast enough and they can't turn it off fast enough. So the heart rate doesn't vary. That's the extreme case. And what they find is that when the heart rate doesn't vary, it causes inflammation in the body. And the study that they did, which just focused on dementia, they find that what they put two groups of people, a couple hundred people in one group. One, they taught them how to do abdominal breathing. The other one, they just let them listen to nice music. And they find that the group that actually practice abdominal breathing, exercising between in breath and out breath, in breath and out breath, the heart rate variability goes up, which means that they're restoring the harmony between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. And then at the same time, they're monitoring a marker in the brain that is associated with protein, which is something that they know for a fact that is related to dementia. And they find that abdominal breathing reduce the chance of having dementia. And the marker, the measurement is heart rate variability. Okay, so it's not that we want to go up or down. We just want to have that range. Okay. Now we don't always we cannot always have that. It's you can measure it, but it's actually very because you're talking about milliseconds. And so um, for us, the easiest thing is just resting heartbeat is a good number. Just it's not authoritative, but it's a direct measure. So if you wear Apple Watch or you clip on your fingers, I have them. You just sit down and you meditate, and you find that your heart rate goes down. That's a good thing. You know you're doing something right. Now, but when you measure that, make sure that you're not being shy. Your light doesn't come to your eyes. When your eyes is being like what I'm doing now, I don't, I have so many spotlight on me. Um, your eye is very sensitive to light, and it puts you in this in the fight or flight, and your heart rate goes up. Okay, right? So I think for the most part, what I really want to do is ask some questions so you can go and look for answer. So today I talk about autonomous nerve disorder. You should look it up. I talk about heart rate variability. You should look it up. I talk about sitting heart rate, all right, resting heart rate. I talk about parasympathetic and sympathetic. You should look it up. It's so easy. Okay. All right. So let's take a couple minutes and do some stretching. Stretching and during the daytime is very important, right? Because in the daytime, the sun is out. We want to be in yang and not in yin, right? We want to be outside the cave. It's okay to run away from lions right now. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're stretching, letting the stretch hormone heal the body. All right. Okay. So let's start by doing 3 deep breaths. Right. Stretch your spine, lean back, open the shoulder, relax the shoulder, and then now take 10 fingers, lock it, and put that about 2 inches, 2 fingers, not 2 inches, 2 fingers below the belly button. There's a energy point here called the Sea of Qi. So the Chinese believe that the belly button is where you take the nutrient from your mother when you're inside her womb. But the Sea of Qi is when you actually take the energy, the yin energy. It all comes into here. And now, as we breathe in, we want to move up all the way to here. This is another energy point. It's called the center of being. This is where the yang and the yin meets. Yin is what you develop inside the mother's womb. You develop that first. The yin organs are the heart, the lung, the liver, the splint, and the liver. Those you must have before you're viable. The stomach, the intestines, your mother's providing the bladder. Who needs that, right? So those are the yang organ, all right? So the yin is right here. Okay, now get ready. Put your hands together. Okay, breathe in. Lift up your upper torso all the way up. Turn your hands facing up. Breathe out. Stretch your elbow. Look straight ahead now. Okay, look straight ahead. Open your fingers. Lock your elbow. Open that shoulder as if you're climbing on top of the rocks. And back. Relax. Breathe in. Breathe out. Stretch. Looking straight ahead. Open. And relax. One last time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lock elbow. Look straight ahead. Climb as hard as you can. and relax. Anthony, I'm going to answer that question when we finish the class, okay? That's an important question. Now we're going to lock the fingers again, palm facing up, palm facing down. Push down until you lock your elbow. Look straight ahead, anchor your mind onto the center of your palm, bring it up, mind, body together, bring it to the top of the head, lean back slightly, and then forming straight line, and then push as hard as you can. Then lean back, come back to the middle, push all the way to the left, come back to the middle, push all the way to the right, come back to the middle, push all the way to the left, come back to the middle. One last time, push all the way to the right, come back to the middle. Focus on the center of your palm. Bring down your hands, completely relax. Open the shoulder again, lean back, relax the shoulder. Right palm on the left shoulder, lean back. So you're putting pressure on the right shoulder. You take the left hand, you grab the right elbow, you sit up straight, and you stretch to the left. You come back, sit up straight, and come back, completely relax. Focus on the breath, one breath at a time. Know that I'm breathing in, know that I'm breathing out. Okay, now the next two exercise is stretching the energy line that is inside the arm, that's the yin, and then also stretching the outside, which is facing the sun, that's the yang. First the yin. Open the shoulder, lean back, relax, palm facing up, wrist 90-degree. Right hand, put that between your fingers and your palm. Bring it down very gently. Focus on the elbow. Push the elbow. Okay, stretch it inside. Huh? Stretch it inside. Push the elbow. Keep it stretched. Now use the elbow to push your hand up. You feel a little bit of stress on your wrist. It's okay. It's good. Now bring it all to eye level. Make sure you're stretching the elbow now. Okay, now you take your left hand without turning your upper torso. Stretch it to the right, locking your elbow. Bring it back, relax, sit up straight, right hand, bring it down, elbow push forward, eyes forward, push it up, all the way up, all the way to the left, locking your elbow, come back, and then relax. Back to the breath, one breath at a time. One breath at a time. Okay, now that's the inside. Now we're going to work on the outside. Once again, back to the shoulder, open the shoulder, lean back, relax the shoulder. Right palm facing up, 90-degree. Left palm facing down. Open the shoulder slowly, and then lock your elbow as if you're supporting the sky. The sky's going to fall off. It's up to you to support it. And then you take the left palm, you push down, lock the elbow as if you're pushing down on the earth. Now you take the right arm, you lean back as far back as you can. Then you turn your head to the left, to the shoulder. Then you keep turning your eye as if you're looking your back. You're stretching a tendon on the right side. Then the eyes comes back, head comes back, and you relax your hand. Open the shoulder, left up, lock the elbow, right down, lock the elbow, left arm back, head to the right, eyes to the back, eyes come back, heads come back, relax. Okay, so you're actually stretching here all the way to here. And when the eye turns one way, it actually stretches this energy line. Okay, it's very important. Okay, so now we're going to stretch the spinal cord. Okay, we call that the dragon's back. Stretch your spine, open the shoulder, lean back, relax. Hands locking, fingers locking, palm facing up, put that in the bottom of your spine. Turn your hands so that the palms are facing down. Stretch until you lock your elbow. Now focus on the top of your head and the center of your palm at the same time. And you push your head up and you push your hand down. One up, one down. You stretch and then you relax. You lean back, so you're looking at the ceiling. Lean back your forehead, so you're looking at the ceiling 45 degree. Then you take your arm, center of your palm, bring it up as high as you can. And then you relax, sit back, focus on your breath. So Anthony, you wanted to know how you restore the harmony. That's how you do it. As soon as you exercise, you come back and you give yourself a chance to relax, restore the sensitivity, enter into the rest and digest. That's how you do it, okay? All right, let's continue. Stretch your spine, open the shoulder, relax the shoulder, lean back up the torso, right arm touching the back, lean back the forehead so you're looking straight ahead. You feel the pressure on your right shoulder. Then you take your right shoulder and you stretch and you relax. You take the other hand, you look straight ahead and you stretch and you relax. One breath at a time. Anthony, you're listening, right? One breath at a time. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. All right. Now, open the shoulders, stretch, relax. Back of the hand at the bottom of your spine. Two fingers pointing to the left shoulder. Take the right shoulder, stretch down, fingers pointing up, and then relax the other hand. Left shoulder down, fingers pointing up, and then sit up straight. Two fingers touching. Sit up straight, looking straight ahead. Two shoulders, right shoulder up, left shoulder down, and then relax the other hand. Sit up straight, left shoulder up, right shoulder down, and then relax. Back to the meditation. Focus on your breath, one breath at a time. One breath at a time. Okay, one last exercise. We call this reverse Buddha. Stretch your spine, open your shoulder, lean back, relax. Two hands, fingers touching, center of the palm touching. Sit up straight, fingers pointing up. Bring up your fingers, bring up your hand, center of the palm touching. Sit up straight. Use your palm to push your spine forward. Use your shoulder, lean back, one forward, one backward. Maintain that pressure. Focus on your breath. One breath at a time. Relax. Back to the breathing. One breath at a time. Okay. So I'll come back to Anthony's question in a minute, but I'm reminded of a question that was asked at the end of class last week, and I didn't have a chance to answer it until I read the comments once again. And that was when I was talking about the study that someone did about either 6 or 7 regions around the world that the average age is 100, right? One of the places I remember is Okinawa. And they mentioned that one thing that they all have in common is that they don't run marathon or run. They don't run. They don't weight lift, and they don't go to the gym. So that was I said that as a joke, which is true. That's what's in the study. And so a student says, "Why not weight lift? What's wrong with that?" Well, okay, so that's the difference between the Western approach to health and Eastern approach to health. The Western approach of health, they're addicted to all the happy hormone. So they exercise, they get all the happy hormone out, and they feel really good. And the body actually, um, 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 uh, it's a good thing. Exercise is a good thing. It's not. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is that if that's all you do, you actually increase your inflammation. You actually increase your inflammation just for the same reason that I just said. You have so much stress hormone in you that it loses the sensitivity. And so now your only self-healing agent, your only natural steroid that you have in the body is no longer effective. And that's why you inflame. That's why people who run marathon, they die before they're 40 of heart attack of all things. This is the same guy who eats well and exercise all the time. So I'm not saying that's bad. I'm saying that that's just a Western approach. It's all yang but no yin. Here, what I propose here is one that is of balance. And this is not something that I invented. This is a 1,000-year-old technique, not just by the Chinese, but the Indians too. The Indians too, right? And so and this is ironically, yoga comes from India, but the way yoga is practiced is all yang and no yin. And so I'm just asking you to, after you exercise, spend equal time to rest, focus on your breath. Now, it's very important that you focus on your breath, because just because you sit still doesn't mean that you're in rest and digest. Okay? I mean, people tell me, he says, well, I said, you have too much stress. Like my mom says, you have too much stress. He says, I don't have any stress. I just watch TV. I say, when you watch TV, you create stress. You need to learn to meditate. Okay? All right. I'll come back to that question because we're running out of time. This is a very important question. I like these questions. These questions actually help other people. Okay? So it's a balance. We take a lot of time to answer questions, to have comment, to have discussion, but at the same time, it does help people. All right. So let's just quickly loosen up our joints. Okay. Now we spend a lot of time loosening up our elbow. So elbow is the same as the knee. We spend a lot of time loosening up our wrist. Wrist is the same as the ankle. Okay. So put your knee and then just go one, very soft, two, three, four, and five. The other way. One, two, three, four, and five. Okay. Now, ankle, right ankle. One, two, three, four, and five. The other way. One, two, three, four, and five. Left foot. One, two, three, four, and five. The other way. One, two, three, four, and five. Okay. So wrist, same as ankle. Elbow, same as the knee. Shoulder, the same as the hip. When we used to walk on 4-4, that's how it works. So let's learn how to loosen up a hip before we do the breathing exercise. Right foot forward, bring it to the left foot, form a straight line between the heel, the knee, the hip, and the shoulder. And you turn all the way, and then you move forward and you relax. And you relax. Back, turn forward and relax. Okay. So as we age, we tend to fall easily because our hips are no longer flexible. Okay. Bring it back, form straight line, turn forward, relax. Bring it back, turn forward, and relax. One last time. Bring it back, turn forward, and relax. Okay, so now we're ready to do breathing exercise. Anthony, this is the best way to restore your harmony between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic is breathing with your diaphragm. Okay, so this is very hardcore. Now get ready. Focus on the hand. Bring it up. One. Bring it towards yourself. Two. Bring it down. Lower your knee. Three. Stand up straight. Four. Okay. Now close your mouth. Breathe very gently with your nose. One and two. Breathe in. Breathe out. Three is breathing out. Four is standing up and relax. Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Changing form, breathe in, crossing your hand, follow the hand, breathe out, breathe in, 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 breathe out. Now we're going to stand for 1 minute. Right? Put our body in the rest and digest, focusing on the breath. Okay, don't let your mind wander around. If your mind running around, you're back into fight or flight again. Focus on your breath, one breath at a time, 1 minute. Give yourself a chance to restore your harmony. Okay. Next one, balloon breathing. Right foot forward, lean back so that the toes are pointing up and you're looking at the ceiling 45 degrees. You bring up your hands. As you move forward, it's as if you're embracing yourself. The heel on the left foot is up and you're looking at the floor 45 degrees. Back. As you go forward, close your mouth, breathe in, breathe out, relax. Always relax when you breathe out because you want to enter rest and digest when you breathe out. Relax. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, and breathe out. Lower your hand. Come back to the standing position. 1 minute completely on your breath. One breath at a time. 1 minute is only 60 seconds. Okay. Okay. Open your eyes. Quickly. Breathe in. Breathe out. 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 One last time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lower your hand. Stand up straight. And just focus on the breath for 1 minute or 60 seconds worth, one breath at a time. Okay, now we're going to do the butterfly. You notice that it's getting more and more difficult, right? It's designed that way. Okay, now lift up your arm. Make sure you're focusing entirely on the center of your palm. Bring up, bring down your hand. Follow the hand. The knees goes down. Bring it back up. Knees come up. Not knee. I meant the knee. And then the ankle goes up. Right? You're standing on your toes. Back of the hand touching. Come down. Breathe in. Go up. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One last time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lower your hand. Stand properly. Now, people talk about using breathing exercise to calm yourself, especially about going to sleep. And there's different technique. The military actually trained the soldiers into what's called box breathing. 4 seconds, breathe in, 2 seconds, hold it, 4 seconds, breathe out, 2 seconds, hold it. Some people say that's actually it actually causes anxiety when you do that. They just want to slow down the breath. Okay, just let it just slow down breath. And they think that if you could do 6 breaths per minute, that's the ideal. It's not that important. What's important is just relax. Okay, just relax. Just feel that you're breathing in. Feel that you're breathing out. Any more of that causes anxiety. Okay, now we're doing what's called push hand. Okay, now I want you to imagine there's a water wheel in front of you, and you're following the water wheel as you bring up your arm. Continue that circle all the way down, and then looking straight ahead and just push. As you bring in your arms over the top of that water wheel, you breathe in, then you breathe out. Without thinking, just on focus on just feeling your fingers, feeling the air coming into your abdomen. Breathe in, Breathe out. Breathe in. 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 And breathe out. Okay, we're going to stand for 1 minute. Just focus on your breath, one breath at a time. Okay, now we're going to continue on the left side. I thought I was going to let the dog in because he's a meditator, but then he walks away. Okay, all right. Breathe in, following the water wheel all the way down. Then stand up and breathe out. Breathe in, 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 breathe out. One last time. Breathe in, breathe out. This is our last 1 minute steady meditation. Just focus on your breath. Let your body breathe on its own. And just observe your own breath, one breath at a time. Okay, now the next exercise is going to be a little bit more um, rigorous. So if you're in fact suffering from autonomous disorder and you have something called a adrenal fatigue, then you want to be careful with this next exercise. At least use a chair or just sit it out, because what happens is that you don't, the stress hormone is not coming out fast enough, and so when you move your body quickly, you're going to get lightheaded. Okay, and this is exercise that we do every day. Oh, my mother is 88. She has no problem with this. Okay, it's not about age. Get ready. Breathe in. Now we're going to breathe out all the way. Breathe out. Bend forward. And then we're going to breathe in all the way. Breathe in and bend backward. And then relax. Okay? All right, second time. Breathe out. Breathe in. Relax. One last time. Only 3 times. Breathe out. Breathe in. And relax. Okay, we're going to walk back to the seat. We're going to sit for 5 minutes, a little bit over time. I consider myself a Westerner because I'm Western educated. And so I understand Western culture very well. That's what makes me an entrepreneur. And Western perspective to things is that we like to beat things into submission. So if I have a problem, just tell me what to do, right? And I'm going to do the best I can. But very often it's not about that. It's really not about beating things into submission, but it's about accepting things. And so the next 5 minutes, I'm going to continue with our sitting meditation, but I'm going to roll in a couple of things that I talked about in the past. I'm going to roll in the serenity prayer. Serenity prayer comes in 3 parts: the courage to change things you can change, the serenity to accept things you cannot change, and the wisdom to know the difference. That is exactly what we do here, is to feel it, to accept it, and then to let it go. And I talk about my father. I was observing my father as I grew up, and I think he's no different than a caveman. That during the day he goes out, he's not educated, and so he's a laborer, and he works very hard to make money to feed his family. That takes courage. But when he comes home, he accepts things as they are. That's serenity. And he's a man of wisdom, even though he's not educated. He knows that there are things he can do and the things he cannot do. He knows the difference. Okay? So you can think of it in terms of the caveman too, that when he's out in the sun, he needs courage. When he's back in the cave, especially when he didn't hunt anything, his family's going to go hungry. He has the acceptance. He has to accept it. And then he needs to have the wisdom. Now, one more thing. When you think of the ocean is a force of nature. You're standing by the beach, you're observing the wave. When the wave comes up, it's as if they're trying to change things. They're moving the pieces around on the beach. And then when the ocean goes back to the ocean, it's as if they're accepting what they cannot change. But then, most importantly, if you watch the ocean long enough, like I do, you notice that when it comes back to the ocean, it doesn't come back right away. There's an emptiness to this, and it just like the whole world comes to still. He's accepting it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to sit back, relax. First, stretch the spine, open the shoulder, lean back, and then relax. Now we've done all these exercises, so the body is the breath is very pronounced right now. So you know that your stomach is moving around as you breathe in and out. We're going to start at the bottom of the spine again. As soon as you know that you're breathing in, move up the spine. I want you to focus on the word courage. You're entering into fight or flight. You need courage. And then as you breathe out, you come down from the forehead. You're entering into rest and digest. You need acceptance. And then I want you to let go of the breathing. Don't try to breathe in all on your own. Just let it go. Just trust that the body will breathe on its own. And stay focused on that space, the empty space. And that's when the wisdom comes out. Breathe in. May I have the courage to change things I can change, like the ocean coming up. the wave coming up. Focus on the word courage. Focus on the word feel it. As you come down, may I have the serenity to accept things I cannot change. Focus on the word acceptance. This is the part where you said, I'm accepting it. And then you let go of the breathing, focus on that empty space, wait for the body to breathe on its own. And that's when you say, may I have the wisdom to know the difference. And that's when you say, let it go. Just like the ocean. Ocean, the water rises, courage. The water recedes, serenity, acceptance. And then wisdom, emptiness. Okay, let's sit for 5 minutes. Okay, open your eyes. Let's learn to massage your face. Put the hands together. Imagine you have a big circle. And then massage the face, side of the face, the forehead, the top of the head. That's the part that is responsible for all your cognition, the back of the head, the memory, the lower part of your head, that's the motor function, the neck, back and above the ear, back to the face, back to the fingers. And we're going to do 5 times a lion's roar. Get all that bad chi out. Get ready. Focus on the elbow. I'll come back and answer a question. All right, Anthony? Just give me a second. Get ready. Okay. So Anthony's question is, I have autonomic dysfunction, and I also experience difficulty balancing the autonomous nervous system. Fight or flight mode is always activated. Okay, so fight or flight mode is always activated means that your mouth is always dry, right? I mentioned that. But how else do you know that your fight or flight is always activated? You cannot sleep. What else? Well, it turns out that constipation and digestions are all part of that, right? Because if you turn off your salivary gland, then essentially you turn off your digestion system, right? The digestion is not in the stomach. The stomach is just a grinder. The digestion actually starts with the salivary gland, and then goes all the way to the small intestine, right? So a lot of things happen. Or the worst case is that you have autoimmune system, autoimmunity, right? The body actually attack itself. So all those are disorder. All those comes from the fact that it's not that you have too much; it's that you don't know how to manage. It's not part of the Western culture is to manage. And so, to a long story short, is try to spend equal time with the Eastern culture, right? Try to spend the time, right? So we always talk about the Eastern medicine as alternative. Eastern medicine is not alternative. The Eastern medicine is traditional. It's the Western medicine that is alternative, right? The Western medicine is all about the dead body. It starts with a cadaver. We learn about science through the opening up the dead body. That man has no chi. The Eastern medicine with the Indians and the Chinese, they learned about health through a living body, a living body. One of the things that is ignored in the Western science is the importance of the membrane. It's the importance of the what's called the what is it called, the tissues, the tissue membranes, right? So there's even a word now called um, fascia, right? So you have massage called fascia massage, but fascia comes from the word myofascia. Myofascia is just the membrane of the muscle. And so people who do massage, they don't just focus on the muscle, they focus on in between the muscle. When I do massage, I do what I call chi massage. That's exactly what I do. I don't focus on the muscle. I focus on places that are in between. So points like this, points like this. We do this every other week, remember? We use the massage. But the Chinese, the Easterners, the Chinese, they take it one step further, all the way back. Think about it. When the sperm and the egg come together, how do they communicate? How does the egg choose the right sperm? Thousands and thousands of sperms are coming to this one single egg. How does the egg know which sperm to take? It's through the membrane. The membrane is the number one organ in the body. It's the most important organ in the body. And from that, right, they become one and then they split. And the splitting is all done through the membrane. And the cells start and then all the organs develop. And so the Eastern medicine, Eastern approach to breath is back to the membrane. It's back to the membrane. And the membrane comes together at the diaphragm, at the diaphragm. So it's all about learning how to breathe with the diaphragm. Okay. So Anthony, I hope you're still here. Oh, you are here. Okay. Um, if this is something that you're concerned about, and you have all the things that I mentioned, which is difficult to go to sleep, constipation, digestion problem, autoimmune, high cholesterol. High cholesterol is the problem is not with the cholesterol. The problem is that your body is inflamed and the body is trying to heal itself with cholesterol. And if you take high cholesterol medicine, reducing LDL or whatever, then all of a sudden your brain is deprived of 80% of its constituents. And now they have studied that says that actually hypo, cholesterol medicine leads to dementia. They only know how to fix the symptom. They don't understand that the cause of the problem is inflammation, and the cause of inflammation is that you're supposed to be able to heal yourself and you can't because you have too much stress. You are stuck. It's like the faucet, right? You can't open it because it's rusted, but once you open it, you don't know how to stop it, right? That's the problem. Okay, so let me answer this second question by by Anthony says, through any practice, is it necessary to take meditative breaks to activate parasympathetic nerve? Yeah, yes, yes. This is the part that we don't teach, right? This is the part I know about yoga, and this is okay. So I don't want to take, you know, we could do this for 10 a week, right? But if you practice yoga, you need to understand that the yoga as it is practiced in the West is called hatha yoga. It's all about asana, all about the body. Yoga as is practiced in India has 8 limbs, one of which is asana. So if you want to practice yoga to restore the harmony in your body, you have to be aware of these other limbs. So not just the body, not just the body, but the mind and your breath. Okay? So, um, Anthony, yes, take breaks, take breaks. Come to our evening class if you just wanted something really, you know, like something that will fix whatever problem you might have, especially if you have problem going to sleep. Come to an evening class. The swing. Many of you come to my evening class now. The swing arm exercise, where you bring up the arm, you're working against gravity. You're in um, fight or flight. And then you just let it drop naturally. You're in rest and digest. So even that simple exercise is lifting up the diaphragm, lowering the diaphragm. And so over time, even though it's not taught explicitly, you notice that your breathing is synchronized with your body motion. As you lift up your arm, you're breathing out, and then you're breathing in. Okay, like that, or the other way. I forgot. Okay, I don't know how to teach it. I don't know how to do it. It's simple enough. Okay, everything is on YouTube. So the best way is my name is Danny K Mew. So DannyKmew.com. You will find a list of things. And then if you just add slash YouTube, that's the YouTube channel slash Facebook slash insight dash timer. Okay. Evening class is same. It's always standardized on specific time. So if you're in Asia, or Europe, you have to adjust accordingly. Okay. So Asia would be, we start at 7:30 in the morning. Asia, for the most part, would be 10:30 in the morning now. Okay. All right. That's enough. That's enough. Keep up the practice. I look forward to seeing you again next Saturday. I look forward to seeing you in the evening class as well. Okay. And a lot of people benefit from the evening class. It's just a simple half an hour swing arm qigong exercise, and many of them said that they managed to sleep through the night now, or at least improve the quality. Now tonight we're actually going to focus on lying down meditation. Okay, all right. Let us all be blessed with health, with happiness, and with peace. Starting with peace from within, knowing how to accept it and knowing how to let it go. Namaste. See you all next week. Bye bye. Okay. 星期一見. Bye bye. Thanks for all the donation. See you next Saturday.